Yeah, being a professional fighter for almost 8 years, people only saw the fights. I had 15 pro fights, but every other day, I mean, every day, every single day for 3 to 5 hours a day, I was training. And so I showed up. You just do the grind every day as an athlete. You do the grind, you do the drills, you do the foot drills, the hand drills, and that kind of stuff. So you know how to just do the drills because that's what's going to come out in the fight. And so we as athletes, we just know to go through the motions. So that's ingrained in me to stick to my schedule and to stick to my routine because I know it's going to pay off. I know that's what's going to pay off. And so that's what's helped me growing my business is from being an athlete and to doing the grind in my business and showing up consistently. The other thing that boxing taught me is, I fought at 154 pounds. These girls are strong. I mean, there's 400 pounds of pressure in my uppercut alone, and they will kill you in the ring. And so when you have got to face somebody who's salivating, I remember I fought a girl and I looked across the ring. We were waiting for the first bell to ring, and she wanted to kill me so bad I could see it in her eyes, and I was like, dear God. I mean, like, oh my gosh, like this girl is rich. That kind of fear that fighters feel, and every fighter is afraid. Every fighter is afraid. Yeah. I say to myself nowadays, I say, well, shoot, if I can get through my nose coming off of my face in Beijing, China, and had to be surgically put back on, I can get through anything. So as a fighter, once you've been hit repeatedly or backed up into a corner, it has just taught me like, oh, really? What can be worse than that, Cristy? There's nothing that you can go through that. So that's a lot of that's being an athlete has taught me, how to be a better business owner and entrepreneur.
Wow. You hit there 2 points that I really enjoy. First is you said, I mean, you were a boxer for 8 years, yet you had 15 pro fights, right? And I want to compare this to soccer because, I mean, in soccer, at least we play once a week, pretty much the season, right? So we have a lot of games throughout the season. Yeah. But I feel like being a fighter right there, like practicing for so long, waiting for a fight. I mean, if we do the math, that'll be if we divide it equally, that'll be like 2 fights per year. So imagine you have to be training for 6 months without having to perform, right? And then having to step into the ring. Like that takes determination right there. And that is so important because you need to do the work even with people when people are not watching you, right? You need to put in the work and you need to be prepared for when the opportunity comes. And I think that we took that from our dad. He would always say like, hey, you need to be ready because you never know who's going to be watching a soccer game, when he's going to be watching a soccer game. Like if the opportunity comes and you are not ready, he's going to leave without you. He's not going to wait for you, right? You need to prepare yourself and be ready for that opportunity.
Yeah. And let me jump in because you asked me a question. You said, well, what can people do to prepare? Because a lot of people look at me and they say, well, Cristy, I'm not a pro fighter. I'm a stay-at-home mother of 2, or I'm a 22-year-old, stockbroker. I get that. So what can you do that's going to teach you to show up? What can you do consistently? Just pick 1 or 2 things that you can do every single day and not skimp on and not flake on. We know as athletes, the 3 of us sitting right here, we understand the grind. We understand consistency. We understand routine. We had no choice. We had coaches. You had to show up. And if you guys were like me, you had sponsors. You had to show up. So if you don't have that, or you're not an athlete, whatever, you can still do something, but pick 2 things that you can be consistent at and show up every day. Don't try to bit every single thing. That's why New Year's resolutions suck. I wrote a book called New Year's Resolutions Suck. And it's because people want to do everything. Well, they can't keep up with everything. What can you do? Pick them and nail them consistently every day.